Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gabby and today I'm going to be doing a very highly anticipated video from me, which is a book for every song on Midnights by Taylor Swift. If you didn't know, if you're new to my channel, I am a major Swiftie. I've been a Taylor Swift fan since Fearless came out when I was in 8th grade, so it's been quite a long time, and to be honest, Midnights is probably one of my favorite albums that I've heard from Taylor Swift. Like, it might be my top 3, it might be my top favorite, I don't know, I can't decide. But I'm a major Taylor Swift fan. I feel like my top, 3 albums that I currently always have in rotation. I mean, now it's Midnights, but I also, Reputation is one of my top favorites. I love 1989, I love Evermore, Folklore, like, oh my gosh, there's so many good albums. I have done videos like this for almost every single Taylor Swift album before, so if you are curious, I'll have all of the other ones linked down below if you want to go and check those out. So yeah, I've been wanting to do a video like this for such a long time now. I've just been wanting to give these songs time enough to marinate, and for me to really think about these lyrics and think about which books can really fit well with these songs, and I'm really happy with the set of books that I've chosen. I feel like these books really do fit these songs well, and I'm so excited. So let's just jump right into it. So song number 1 on the album is Lavender Haze, and a book that I think fits this song so perfectly is Red, White, and Royal Blue. I feel the lavender haze creeping up on me. Lavender Haze has to be one of my favorite opening tracks that Taylor's ever put on an album. I mean, gosh, what a freaking banger, right? And I feel like, when after I heard this song, I was like, this is a gay song. Like, I'm sorry, it's such a gay song. I love the lyrics in the song, and it's like that 1950s shit they want from me. It's like, it's almost like how people in the 1950s like weren't really accepting of like LGBT relationships. Like, that's kind of how I took it, and I was like, oh my god, like, yeah. And I know in the song she's talking about like being a housewife or like being a bride, and like that's not, what she wants for herself. But also, when you think of it in the case of Alex and Henry, from Red, White, and Royal Blue, I feel like this song just fits them so well, because it's also talking about how like when you're in the eye of the public, people are talking about your history, they're bringing up your dating history, but it's like you're not even listening. And if you didn't know, Red, White, and Royal Blue is a romance where we follow a guy who is the first son of the first female president in the United States, and then he's with a prince of England. So I feel like the lyrics of this song just really fit this book well with the like, I'm damned if I do give a damn what people say, because everybody has something to say and an opinion on their relationship because they're in the eye of the public. But it's like they just want to stay in that lavender haze, like they just want to stay in that feeling of love that they're starting to have for each other. But it's like I feel that lavender haze creeping up on me because they're starting to fall for each other. I also love that line too, and it's like, get it off my desk, because like they work in politics, so I just thought it was even more fitting for them. Like, oh my god. Yeah, this song is just such a banger. This book is so freaking cute. I think it fits it perfectly. And also, when you mix red and blue, do you know what you get? You get purple or lavender. I know I'm so extra, I'm sorry. So real. I'm damned if I do give a damn what people say. Alright, song number 2 on Midnights is Maroon, which this is a song that I'm not gonna lie, I struggled for a while to pick a book that would fit this song, because this is another song when I listened to it and I was like, this sounds gay to me. It kind of felt almost like very Evelyn Hugo with the whole like splash of the wine on the t-shirt, but after thinking about it a little bit more, I actually think the book A Dowry of Blood fits the song Maroon so perfectly. And now the blood rushed into my cheeks so scarlet it was. I think Maroon is probably like the sexiest song on this album. Like, if I had to pick a song that I'm like, damn, that is sexy, it's definitely Maroon. And I feel like this book is also kind of like, I mean, this book is a horror book. It is about vampires, and it's about queer relationships in this book, and this book is also pretty sexual as well, which is why I just think it's perfectly fitting for this song, especially the way this song talks about maroon and like the blood rushing into your cheeks and like the wine. Like, that is definitely the vibe of this book as well, because they're vampires, like they suck blood, and there's a lot of scenes with that happening, but there's also a lot of really romantic and beautiful scenes, and also just the way that this book is written is so beautiful. But then also the lines where she's like, and I lost you, and it's talking about ain't that the way shit always ends. It's kind of talking about how they went through some kind of struggle, and I thought it fit this book so well too, because I found this direct quote from the book when they said, love is violence, my darling. It is a thunderstorm that tears apart your world. More often than not, love ends in tragedy, but we go on loving in the hopes that this time it will be different. And just the way that this book is written, I can't explain it to you. I feel like it fits the song Maroon so perfectly. Some of these quotes, oh my gosh, it's like I don't dove down deep into your psyche, turning over every word you gave me like a jewel, looking for meaning, seeking out the mysteries of you. I didn't care if I lost myself in the process. Like, does that not sound like it totally matches the vibe of Maroon?
The burgundy on my t-shirt when he splashed your wine into me and how the blood rushed into my cheeks.
Third song on the album is Antihero, which this is one of my most relatable songs. I'm sure it is for most people. It just has some of the most relatable lyrics. And so naturally, I chose a book with a character that I relate to pretty well, and that's Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell.
I have this thing where I get older, but just never wiser.
Kath, you know, in this book, this is a young adult contemporary novel about this young girl named Kath who's going to be a freshman in college, and she writes a lot of fan fictions, and she's just a very awkward human being. And I feel like I relate to her so much, and I feel like Kath would also relate a lot to the lyrics in this song, especially, you know, the opening lines of like, I have this thing where I get older but just never wiser, midnights become my afternoons, you know, like as someone who deals with anxiety and depression, like those lyrics are definitely very relatable, and I just feel like this character in particular would connect with it. And the whole lines too in this song about how she's like, I wake up screaming from dreaming, one day I'll watch as you're leaving, because I feel like Kath has this deep rooted fear that everyone's gonna leave her eventually, you know, and that's why she has so many issues with like her mom, because her mom kind of abandoned them, and she just has these issues where she's afraid, like terribly afraid that everyone's gonna leave her. But then I think she also just really could relate to this song, because I think she could recognize the fact that sometimes she might be the problem because she puts her walls up, you know, like she wants to live in this world with her fan fiction and she doesn't want to make an effort to make friends, and she's just really socially awkward. So I just feel like this song fits her character really well, and because I relate to her character so hard, I just found it like immediately within this book. I was like, yep, that is Antihero right there.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem, it's me.
The next song, number 4 on the album, is Snow on the Beach, and a book that I think fits this song perfectly is Beach Read by Emily Henry. Haha, see what I did there?
Life is emotionally abusive and time can't stop me quite like you did.
I actually, you know, upon the first few listens on this album, Snow on the Beach was actually probably my least favorite on this album. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it just didn't really grip me right away, but the more that I'm listening to this album, the more that I'm starting to enjoy Snow on the Beach. I just feel like this song, at least for me personally, I feel like this song would have fit better on like Folklore or Evermore. It just doesn't really feel like it fits on Midnights for me, but that's just my opinion. But I was struggling to like think of like, oh, what's a book that would fit this song? And then I saw on Instagram, Emily Henry, the author, she actually put like Beach Read would be perfect for Snow on the Beach, and then I thought about it and I was like, oh my gosh, like yes, that is perfect. I feel like especially the lines that are like, life is emotionally abusive and time can't stop me quite like you did, you know, because I feel like this book is a little bit heavier than you might expect, because this is a romance novel that's about these two writers. They decide to swap genres for the summer, so he typically writes like literary fiction and she writes romances, and so they're gonna swap genres for the summer, but she's also kind of dealing with a lot of grief because her father recently passed away. And there's just a lot of heavier topics and themes in this book than you might typically expect. But it's also, like, I think it fits the song perfectly, not only because of the snow on the beach and, you know, it's kind of taking place on, like, a beach kind of thing, but also because of the lines like, but you wanting me tonight feels impossible, because they're very, like, hate to love or, like, enemies to lovers vibes as well. So I feel like, in a way, this song also fits this book like that. I don't know, I thought it was really cute. And also, if you think about it, this song fits the movie Brokeback Mountain, like, so well, and it honestly makes me cry when I even think about it.
You wanting me tonight feels impossible.
Alright, track 5 is You're on Your Own, Kid, and this is definitely one of my top favorites on the album, and also one that I feel like I relate to the most. This has the best bridge on this album, in my opinion. This bridge kills me. It nearly makes me cry every single time that I listen to it. But a book that I think fits this song really well is actually Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe.
I didn't choose this town, I dream of getting out. There's just one who could make me stay.
This book is about these two boys named Aristotle and Dante, and they live in Texas in like the 1980s. They live in a really small town, and it's kind of about, you know, Aristotle's struggles with like growing up and kind of like dealing with his own sexuality. And I feel like this song to a T describes this book, especially like the opening first verse when it's saying summer went away, still the yearning stays. I wait patiently, he's gonna notice me, it's okay, we're the best of friends. But also the way it's like, I didn't choose this town, I dream dream of getting out because they're just in this small town in Texas in the 1980s, but it's like there's just one who could make me stay all my days. This song honestly just sounds so like nostalgic to me, and it really sounds like someone who's growing up and like discovering more things about themselves, and so I feel like because of those reasons it just fits this book so well. Gosh, some of the freaking lyrics in this bridge like actually kill me. Like, it's just some of those beautiful shit like, everything you lose is a step you take, so make the friendship bracelets, take the moment and taste it, you got no reason to be afraid. I can imagine that they would be afraid to show each other love in this world in Texas in the 1980s. Like, that wasn't a very accepting time for them to have a relationship, but it's like at the end of the song when it's like, you've got no reason to be afraid, like, ugh. And just the idea of like Aristotle being like, you're on your own, kid, you always have been. Like, there's so much discussion in this book about how he's kind of like afraid to grow up and like afraid to do things on his own, and so I just feel like this song in general just really describes Aristotle's character.
So make the friendship bracelets, take the moment and taste it, you got no reason to be afraid.
Next song, number 6, is Midnight Rain, which is also such a top tier song, so freaking good, and a book that I think fits this song nearly perfectly is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott.
He wanted a bride, I was making my own name.
Because I think this song describes Jo March and like her feelings and like what she wants out of life. I mean, come on with the lyrics, like, he wanted a bride, I was making my own name, chasing that fame, and he stayed the same, all of me changed like midnight rain. I feel like that perfectly describes, you know, Jo March and her situation, because her desires were never to like be a bride. Like, she wants to be a writer, you know, she wants to make a name for herself, and she cares about things outside of romance. I feel like Jo March, you know, her character is just the classic example of like an independent bad bitch who doesn't really care that much about marriage or like having romance, you know? Then I also love at the end of the song when it's like, and I never think of him except on midnights like this. Like, it's like recognizing that she still imagines what that life could have been like with that person.
Chasing that fame, he stayed the same, all of me changed like midnight.
The next song on this album is Question, and Question, when I first heard it, I was like, I mean, yeah, it's fine. And then after listening to this album so much, it's become one of my top favorites. Like, it is such a freaking bop. I especially love the second verse, the way her voice goes all deep. Oh my gosh, I'm here. But a book that I think fits this song very well is actually Count Your Lucky Stars by Alexandria Bellafleur.
You painted all my nights a color I've searched for since, but
to be honest, this is not one that I would have thought of on my own. You know, after I heard Question, I know you guys are sick of me, but I was like, after I heard Question, I was like, is this song gay? Because of the way she uses a lot of like, did she leave your house in the middle of the night? It's a lot of, she uses a lot of she pronouns in this song, so I was like, oh my gosh, like, she's talking about a girl. And so my head immediately went to like, I want to choose something gay for this song, and so naturally I chose this female-female romance. And this author, Alexandria Bellafleur, she actually posted a book reel of why the song Question would be perfect for this book, and she shared some quotes from the book, like, had it been a question of wrong time, wrong place when they were younger, or was Olivia just the wrong person? And then there's another quote that the author shared, and one of the characters, Margot, says, feel free to tell me to fuck off, but can I ask you a personal question? And then it says, that question made Olivia laugh. I think we passed personal a while ago, don't you? And there's just so many quotes from this book that really like fit the lyrics of this song, and I feel like this song especially fits this book well in particular because this is actually a second chance romance as well, because these two girls, they had some kind of like romantic thing happen when they were in high school, and now it's been like 11 years later and there's gonna be a situation where they might become roommates. And so I feel like those lyrics just describe them very well, because it's like, you painted all my nights a color I've searched for since. Like, I've been looking for romance like this since everything happened between us, but it's also like things didn't work out between them because of one thing after another, fucking situation, circumstances, miscommunications, like all the things that went wrong between them, but could be resolved now if you just have like a few questions. Like, can I just ask you a few questions to clarify the things that happened between us so we can move on and be together?
Do you wish you could still touch her? It's just a question.
And song number 8 is Vigilante Shit, which is obviously the baddest bitch song on this album. And a book that I think fits this song perfectly is They Never Learn.
Draw the cat eyes sharp enough to kill a man.
Because if you don't know what They Never Learn is, it's this thriller that follows this woman who is a female serial killer, and she's also bisexual, and she, you know, lives on a college campus, and she kills men who are awful, who have done very bad things. And I feel like this song just fits her and this character so well. I mean, draw the cat eyes sharp enough to kill a man. Like, are you serious? The way she's like, I've been dressing for revenge. It's like this character is very obsessed with the idea of getting revenge against these men who have wronged these different women. I just feel like this song is like her bad bitch anthem. Like, are you kidding me? This song fits her so well. I feel like it's also so rare, you know, to see a book where there's like a female serial killer, but this one is definitely my favorite of any that I've read.
I don't start shit, but I can tell you how it ends.
Number 9 on the album is Bejeweled, and honestly, this song is so freaking cute, and I think this song is gonna be like one of the most underrated songs on the album because I'm obsessed. But I think a book that fits this song so well is actually The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
Still bejeweled when I walk in the room. I can still make the whole place shimmer.
I've heard from fans that a lot of fans speculate that this song is about Taylor singing about how she's coming back to pop music. You know, how she's saying, best believe I'm still bejeweled when I walk in the room. I can still make the whole place shimmer. Like, she's writing this song as like her comeback to pop music. And I just think that that's so freaking cute. But I think this fits this book really well just because like Evelyn Hugo is like this iconic, you know, Hollywood actress. This song of like her idea, like when I walk in the room, I can still make the whole place shimmer, you know, because we get to see Evelyn Hugo's entire life throughout this book and how she like makes her comebacks to acting and how she, you know, is an older woman and she still has such a huge impact on the world. I also love the line when it says, when I meet the band, they ask, do you have a man? I can still say, I don't remember, because, you know, she has a lot of, you know, husbands obviously throughout this book, but also because ooh, if you know, you know. I just love the line of like, I polish up real nice. I feel like that would so be something that Evelyn would like do or like say, you know?
And when I meet the band, they ask, do you have a man? I can still say I don't remember.
Alright, the next song is gonna be Labyrinth. Number 10 is Labyrinth, and the book that I think fits this song perfectly is The Romantic Agenda by Claire Can.
Oh no, I'm falling in love again.
This is a romance novel that follows this woman named Joy who is actually asexual. She's in love with her best friend Malcolm. And then this story is kind of how Malcolm wants to date this woman named Summer. Fox is Summer's ex-boyfriend, and it's about how these people are going to be going on this trip together. And there's kind of like a love triangle, like square happening in this book with all these different relationships. But at the center of the story, it's about, you know, learning how Joy is having feelings for her friend Malcolm, but then she's starting to overcome those feelings and fall for someone else at the same time. So I feel like the lyrics in this song really describe her situation well. And then the whole chorus when she's just saying, uh-oh, like, oh no, I'm falling in love again. I feel like that's definitely a fear that, you know, anybody would have when they're falling in love again. But I feel like especially as someone who's asexual, and she's also asexual, I feel like I can speak for this when you're like, oh no. Because I feel like sometimes for asexuals, it's almost like you don't want to fall in love with someone, or at least like I definitely feel that. So the idea of being like, oh no, I'm falling in love again, that's a really scary thing, you know? So I definitely think that this song just fits this book so well. But I also feel like some of these lyrics in the song could really describe like Joy and Malcolm's friendship, you know, like when it says, you would break your back to make me break a smile, like freaking cute. Alright, so the next track, number 11 on the album, is Karma, and Karma is without a doubt my top favorite song on this album. Like, I play this song all the time. It just makes me happy, it makes me smile, it makes me cry because I'm so proud of her and like the growth in these lyrics. Like, I can't even deal with it. The idea that she used to go from like thinking about revenge and scheming about all of these things, and now she's like, karma's a relaxing thought, like it's coming back around, it's gonna get you, I didn't even think about it, unbothered. And a book that I think fits this song so perfectly is Gone Girl. Like, holy shit, to a T.
Karma is my boyfriend. Karma is a god. Karma is the breeze in my hair on the weekend.
I won't get too into like why this song fits this book perfectly because of spoilery reasons, but all I'm gonna say is that there's a certain character in this book that I think would really connect to the chorus of the song with the like, karma is my breeze in the hair on the weekend. I just see, like, if you've seen the movie, I just picture that scene when they're in the car with the hair. Oh my god, like, I can't. I also think this song would just be so perfect for Gone Girl because of that line, ask me why so many fade but I'm still here, because I feel like Gone Girl is like the original thriller, you know, it's the book that everyone compares themselves to Gone Girl, and it's like Gone Girl got published like I think over 10 years ago now, or about 10 years ago now, and it's like asking me why so many fade, like nobody's talking about these other thrillers anymore but I'm still here. So it's like, it's almost like this book is karma, like to compare yourself to this book is karma because you're not going to be talked about as long as Gone Girl, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's just so many ways I can interpret that this song is so perfect for this book.
Why so many fade but I'm still here.
Okay, the next song on the album is Sweet Nothing, and this song is absolutely fucking precious. Like, this song can make me cry on the spot. I don't know why. It just makes me so emotional. I'm just so happy for her that she found this kind of love with someone, you know, like this love that's like patient and quiet and sweet. And I think a book that fits this song perfectly would be The Charm Offensive.
Everyone's up to something. I find myself running home to your sweet nothing.
Because if you didn't know, this is a male-male romance and involves this guy who's kind of like The Bachelor. Like, he's gonna be the star of a show that's kind of like The Bachelor, a big dating show. And then it's about how he starts to fall for his male producer, Dev. And this is just the sweetest shit, you know? And I feel like these characters would really relate to this song because Charlie, you know, he's the guy that's gonna be kind of like The Bachelor. He deals with like a lot of anxiety and a lot of, you know, pressure from like the public who's watching this show of like The Bachelor and this romance show, and he's getting a lot of pressure from like the producers and everyone involved to like be a certain way and act a certain way when he's on screen, and he just feels a lot of anxiety surrounding that. All that Dev ever wants from him is sweet nothing, you know, like they just, you know, do their cute little puzzles together and they just have like the sweetest, most genuine romance. And I just feel like he could so relate to these lyrics of everyone's up to something. I'd find myself running home to your sweet nothings. Outside they're pushing and shoving. You're in the kitchen humming. All that you ever wanted from me was nothing. Also, that line absolutely kills me, and I feel like Charlie could really relate to that too. And it says, the voices that implore you should be doing more. To you I can admit that I'm just too soft for all of it. Oh my god, that makes me want to cry just thinking about it. Like, that line hits me so hard. Every time I hear that line in the song, like immediate tears. Like, I just want to cry because it's so sweet, and I feel like I can definitely relate to that as well. Everybody expects so much from you, but to your person or like the people in your lives, you can just admit like, I'm just too soft for this shit. And I think that that's so sweet, and I think Charlie definitely struggles with this idea of like him being this public figure, you know, in this TV show. It just, oh my god, this song fits perfect, okay? It just does.
Voices that implore, you should be doing more. To you I can admit that I'm just too soft for all of it.
Alright, the next song on this album is Mastermind, which this is such a cute song. I feel like this is such a Taylor song. Like, girl, am I surprised that you're a mastermind? Like, no, I'm not. This song, oh my gosh, you'll probably be mad at this pick, but You by Caroline Kepnes fits this song perfect.
But if I told you none of it was accidental, and the first night that you saw me, nothing was gonna stop me.
In the song Mastermind, it's this really cute, you know, kind of romantic song about how she's saying none of it was accidental. Like, when I saw you, I knew you were the one. I knew you were gonna be with me. And it's like really sweet and romantic, but also, hear me out. If you think of this song from the point of view of this guy, Joe Goldberg, who's kind of like a stalker, and he saw this girl and he was like, you, then I think this song also fits so freaking perfectly. Like, are you kidding me? The way it's like, what if I told you none of it was accidental, and the first time that I saw you, I knew nothing was gonna stop me. And also the way at the end he's like, it was all my design because I'm a mastermind. I just feel like it fits Joe Goldberg so well. Like, I'm sorry, I don't want to ruin the song for anybody, but oh my god, it's hilarious. I just think it's so funny because I know some of these lyrics are obviously romantic, but when you picture them from the perspective of somebody like Joe Goldberg, when it's like, I laid down the groundwork and then just like clockwork, the dominoes cascaded in a line. What if I told you I'm a mastermind and now you're mine? It's just kind of hilarious, you know? Like, it really does fit this book so freaking well. All right, on to the 3 a.m. tracks. Let's do it. The first one is The Great War. This is another song that when I first heard the album, I was like, oh, I mean, this song's fine. Like, I didn't really like it that much on a first listen, but now, bitch, this song is so good. Like, this song has grown on me probably the most on this whole album. Like, I am singing this song like like all the time in my head. Like, the song is stuck in my head 24/7. This is another song that for a little bit I was struggling to think of a book that would fit this song perfectly because, you know, I don't really read a ton of historical fiction, and this song definitely gives me like historical fiction, war kind of vibes. Then I thought of the book The Song of Achilles, and I think this book would actually fit this song pretty well.
My hand was the one you reached for all throughout the Great War.
Because in The Song of Achilles, this is kind of a male-male romance between these two guys, and it takes place over a course of a number of years. You know, you get to see them when they were first like developing feelings for each other as they were kids, but then it also takes place during this really great war that they have when they're older, like an actual war, not like a metaphorical romantic war, but like a real war. And so I feel like these lyrics about, you know, like my knuckles were bruised like violets, sucker punching walls, curse you as I sleep talked, you know, like they definitely go through their hardships in this book. So I think, you know, the descriptions of like the war that's that's happening in this song are really fitting for them, like not only because of the actual war that they were experiencing, but because of the, you know, kind of romantic challenges that they faced throughout this book. And the idea of like the crimson clover, sweet dream was over my hand was the one you reached for all throughout the Great War. These two were freaking precious in this book. Oh my gosh, I ship this romance so fucking hard. The next song on this album is Bigger Than the Whole Sky, which is definitely the saddest song on this album. I don't listen to it very often, to be honest, because it's just a little bit too sad for me. But a book that I think actually fits this song pretty damn well is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Sorry that I had to do this to you, I know. So this song, I actually heard, like, I don't know if it was confirmed or not by Taylor, but I heard that this song was written about a miscarriage that one of her friends went through. And, you know, it definitely makes sense that that would be the case because these lyrics are just so tragic and so sad, you know, because it's like saying goodbye to someone that you only had a very short time with, or that you feel like you never really got the chance to meet and have them in your life. But I also feel like this song could be about grieving someone that you loved, whether that was like friendship or, you know, romance. And I feel like this song just describes, you know, Jude and what was going on with his life in this book to a fucking T, like perfection. Like if you listen to the song and you think about Jude, I bet you will cry. I mean, come on, these lyrics, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. You were bigger than the whole sky. You were more than just a short time. And then I've got a lot to pine about. I've got a lot to live without. I'm never gonna meet what could have been, would have been, what should have been you. Ooh. This one hits. It definitely hits. A Little Life is like one of my favorite books of all time, and it's definitely one of the most depressing and sad books that I've ever read. All right, on a lighter note, the next song on this album is Paris, which this one, when I first heard the album, I really enjoyed the song, but I feel like I just don't listen to it as much as some of the others. But a book that I think fits this song pretty well is The Butterfly Project by Emma Scott.
Shape one, make believe it's champagne. I was taken by the view like we were in Paris.
And the main reason for that is because this is a romance novel that follows these two people who are, you know, kind of struggling. Beckett in this book, he has recently gotten out of prison and he's kind of trying to get back on his feet again. And then this girl, Zelda, she is a graphic novel artist, which is like really cool. And they get in this situation where they need to become roommates because they can no longer afford kind of to be on their own financially. And so it's kind of like they're both really struggling. They become roommates and then they slowly start to develop this beautiful ass romance. And I feel like this song would just fit them very well because even though this song is like very happy, the lyrics are talking about how like I'm so in love that I might stop breathing, drew a map on your bedroom ceiling, no I didn't see the news because we were somewhere else, stumbled down pretend alleyways, cheap wine, make believe it's champagne, I was taken by the view like we were in Paris. You know, I feel like these lyrics are kind of describing how they were kind of going through something hard, but they were making believe that things were better than they were just to get by, you know, or at least that's how I see this song. And it's like they are getting distracted by whatever's going on in the world, like they're not paying attention to it because they're so deeply invested in falling in love with each other right now that they're not really paying attention to anything that's going on. And it's like, I was taken by the view like we were in Paris. But I feel like they could also relate to a lot of these lyrics of like privacy sign on the door and on my page and on the whole world, romance is not dead if you keep it just yours. Because I feel like a lot of times people can really ruin things, you know, once they find out about your romance or if they don't approve. The next song on the album is High Infidelity, and a book that I think fits this song perfect is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover.
Picket fence is sharp as knives. I was dancing around it.
This song is one that took a while to grow on me, you know, like again, the first time that I heard it, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's all right, but now I'm really starting to like it a lot more. I also feel like this is another song that I do think it would have worked better for me if it was on Folklore or Evermore. Like it just really gives me those vibes. Like I don't really feel like it fits on Midnights, but this song I feel like fits this book so perfectly, you know, because in this book we're following this woman named Lily who gets married to this guy named Ryle who's a surgeon, and they start to have some really complicated issues in their relationship. And there was this guy named Atlas that she used to be with when she was a teenager, and he was this homeless teenager that she really grew a bond with. And then it's kind of about how he's coming back into her life at this time when she's an adult and she's with Ryle. Like all of these lyrics could really describe Lily and Ryle's relationship in this book. And the way these lyrics are saying your picket fence is sharp as knives, I was dancing around it, kind of like dancing around his temper, you know, like always feeling like she's walking on eggshells with him. And then the way it's like, do you really want to know where I was April 29th? And then do I really have to tell you how he brought me back to life? You know, because Atlas was there for her through a lot of really awful hardships in this book when Ryle would just do some really awful things to her. I also feel like she would relate to those lyrics of, you know, there's many different ways that you can kill the one you love. The slowest way is never loving them enough. All right, the next song on this album is Glitch, and A book that I think fits this song perfect is Hang the Moon by Alexandria Bellafleur.
5 seconds later, I'm passing myself to you with this dish.
And this is another one that I actually saw because of Alexandria Bellafleur's Instagram. She posted a reel of like why this book fits this song so well, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes! They've kind of like known of each other because she's really close to his sister, and so she's been his childhood crush for like such a long time. And then this takes place in Seattle when she's gonna be like, I can't remember if she's moving back to Seattle or visiting Seattle again, but it's like they cross paths again as adults. And then it's like these lyrics, we were supposed to be just friends, I think there's been a glitch, like what even happened? I love it too because it's like, you don't live in my part of town, but maybe I'll see you out some weekend, depending on what kind of mood and situationship that I'm in, because she's also like bisexual in this book, which I also love about her character. But I love this idea of, you know, like falling for someone kind of very quickly and unexpectedly. Like there's been a glitch, like I don't know what happened, like something just sparked between us. All right, the next song on this album is Would've, Could've, Should've, which I think we can all agree that this is like one of her best written songs ever. Like, is this the All Too Well of Midnight's? Like, I don't know. I will admit that the sound of this song kind of surprised me, and I don't know if it necessarily fits on Midnight's. I almost wish that she would have saved this song maybe for like a vault song on Speak Now, because I feel like it just really fits with the vibe of Speak Now and, you know, everything that happened with John Mayer. But a book that I think fits this song so perfectly is The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab.
And I'm damn sure never would have danced with the devil.
I actually got so many messages over these last couple of weeks saying like, oh my gosh, don't you think Would've, Could've, Should've just fits this book so well? And I think we can all agree, like, wow, I don't think there is a book out there that could be more fitting for this song than this book. Because in this book, we're following this woman, you know, named Addie LaRue, who when she's very young, she makes this deal with the devil. She's kind of in a situation where she gets cursed because she's able to live forever, like she's immortal, but she's gonna be forgotten by everyone that she meets. And so she lives this very, you know, lonely existence because she gets to live forever. She's living for hundreds of years, but it's a very lonely time for her, you know, because she's being forgotten by every single person that she meets. And I feel like these lyrics probably just describe her feelings and how she felt about those things so well, because it's like, I damn sure never would have danced with the devil at 19. And she's like, now that I'm grown, I'm scared of ghosts. Like she's scared, like she's realizing how tiresome and lonely this life can be for her. And that lyric too of when it's like, and now that I know, I wish you'd left me wondering. Like it's almost like she would regret that she ever went through with this in the first place. The lyrics in the bridge when it's like, oh God, rest my soul, I miss who I used to be, the tomb won't close, stained glass windows in my mind, I regret you all the time.
God rest my soul, I miss who I used to be, the tomb won't close.
Alright, the very last song on this album is Dear Reader, and this is another song that it took a minute to grow on me, but this one's really growing on me. It's so beautiful. And a book that I think fits this song so perfectly is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig.
Never take advice from someone who's falling apart.
This one, I feel like not only fits this song perfectly because of the whole, you know, Dear Reader and like reading, and then the Midnight Library and like books, but also because, you know, in this book, you know, we're following this protagonist named Nora who is just going through a really hard time, and she discovers this place called the Midnight Library, and this place exists in between life and death. It's really interesting because every book on the shelf is like a different version of her life that she could have lived out if she had made different decisions in her life. And I feel like this song just matches this so well, you know, because this song is like giving advice, you know, it's like, dear reader, if it feels like a trap, you're already in one. And the way that this song almost has these like little moments of advice, it almost kind of feels like all of these different books of like all these different choices that she could have made in her life. And it's almost like this character giving advice to the reader, like reading the book. But then I also love those lines of never take advice from someone who's falling apart, you know, because it's like, okay, can we really take advice from someone who is so depressed? Like this character is just so depressed, so suicidal, and it's just really sad and really awful. But at the same time, I just think this song captures the mood of this book very well.
So I wander through these nights, I prefer hiding in plain sight.
Alright, so that is everything. That is a book for every single song on Midnight. I love making these videos so much. Like, they are genuinely some of my favorite videos that I make on this channel, so I hope you enjoyed. I would love to know your thoughts on what you think of some of the books that I chose for these songs. Like, do you agree that they also fit very well, or do you have any other books that you think would fit these songs even better? Also, let me know, where does Midnight's rank for you as an album if you've decided yet? I mean, I have not yet decided. I do think Midnight's is for sure in my top 3. I just don't know which ones are getting bumped yet, if you know what I'm saying. Midnight's is so freaking top tier. Let me know if you have like a top 3 or top 5 favorites on this album. Let me know down below. I think my top favorites, like if I had to choose a top 5, it would probably be Karma, You're on Your Own Kid, Antihero, Maroon, maybe Lavender, Haze, maybe Question. I think Would've, Could've, Should've is up there, and The Great War is up there now. Bejeweled, Midnight Rain, like I don't know, dude, there's too many. And as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I do have videos like this for almost every other Taylor Swift album, so if you want to see any of those, they will all be linked down below. But yeah, that's a wrap on this video, and now let's jam together. I love to include clips of like all of the jam session that I have while filming this video, so you get to see all of that. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. Let's jam together.
Summer went away, still the yearning stayed. You're talking shit for the hell of it, addicted to betrayal but you're relevant. Baby love, I think I've been a little too kind. So real, I'm damned if I do give a damn what people say. Snow at the beach, weird but fucking beautiful. Give me back my girlhood, it was mine first. Didn't notice you walking all over my peace of mind, and the shoes I gave you as a present over me. That's a real fucking legacy to leave. Karma's a relaxing thought. Aren't you envious that for you it's not? Diamonds in my eyes. I polish up real, I polish up real nice. Everything's just like second best after that meteor strike. And the ropes that I gave up, and I, one thing after another, I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. The first night that you saw me, I knew I wanted your body, flexing like a goddamn acrobat. Me and Karma vibe like that. With the bridges burned, everything you lose is a step you take on your mind with some dickhead guy. Flashes of the battle come back to me in a blur. When my depression works the graveyard shift, all of the people I've ghosted stand there in the room, and the outfits were terrible. 2003 unbearable. All that bloodshed, crimson clover, he was sunshine, I was midnight rain. Come straight home to me. You went one after another, fucking politics and gender roles, and you're not sure, and I don't know. What's a girl gonna do? A diamond's gotta shine. Best believe I'm silky jewels. I gave my blood, sweat, and tears for this. Like come it's a cat purring in my lap 'cause it loves me. I guess sometimes we all get just what we wanted. I hosted parties and starved my body like I'd be saved by a perfect kiss. I've got a lot to pine about, I've got a lot to live without.